Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the Crafty Nomad's Vlogtober Day 28. OMG. Only 3 more, and we are done. So, I am currently, or have been, contemplating whether or not I'm going to do Vlogmas. But before I talk about that, let me talk about the fires. So, I don't know if it made the national news yet, but the fires have gotten closer to where I live. A few years ago was really the first time in 20 years that the fires got as close as they did. They are calling this one, most recent one that broke out at 1 a.m. this morning, the Getty Fire, because it is near the Getty Museum, which is not that far from me. We are still very safe. I'm sure when we go outside, we will likely see ash on our cars. We will likely be able to smell the smoke because we could smell it from when it was in Santa Clarita, which is fairly far away. So this is super duper close to the point where one of the elementary schools near UCLA's campus got closed. So I think that we will be affected at work. I can get to work. I don't live where I have to pass where the fire is. I'm south of the fire. But the road to get to where I work, if you live north of the fire, is likely about to be closed. It's not closed yet, but they think they're going to close it, and it is about to be a mess. So they're just saying if you can avoid it, if you haven't left home, then don't get on that 405. But there are people who are already on it, and I feel sorry for them because it's going to close, it seems like, according to the news. And so a lot of my coworkers do live north of where the fire is, so I think a lot of people won't make it into work today. I think a lot of patients won't make it to appointments today. That's what I would anticipate. So you guys be praying for us that they can contain this fire. A couple years ago when this fire happened near the Getty, first of all, if I remember correctly, the Getty, the way they have it set up, the fire likely will not get to the Getty because of the way they built it. But you never know. So pray for that, and pray for everyone. Their homes already lost, complete losses already. There's about 400 acres burning, and compared to a lot of the fires, that's a smaller amount than sometimes what you hear. So yeah, last couple years ago when they had the Getty fire, they got it contained pretty quickly. This one broke out at 1 a.m. so it was dark, and they haven't been able to start the aerial water drops yet. So hopefully that will start shortly here as the sun comes up, and then they will get it contained. But there's mandatory evacuations and all of that for the people who live in those areas, and just pray for them. It's devastating. And but me and my family, we are safe. I'm gonna go to work, which is actually gonna be a little closer to the fire, but it's west of the fire. I don't think that we will, we won't. I mean, the fires tend to burn where in the hills and where there's lots of brush that can catch on fire. And, I work and live in the city proper, so there's not a lot of brush, so I think that we can be confident that we're going to be fine in our areas. But anyway, I wanted to say that. Second thing I wanted to say, I was going to say something else, and I can't remember right now, but I didn't tell you guys what I was using for my sweater. So, Wildwood Yarns, I believe I got this from Willow Yarns or Hirschner's, but this is called Webster. And as you can see, it's 75% acrylic, 25% wool. It is, I believe this is a worsted weight yarn. It doesn't have, it's funny, it doesn't have on here the weight, but this is made in Turkey. It doesn't have a color It doesn't have a color name, just a color number. You get 100 grams in each ball, and you get 300 yards in each one. And it's just like a pretty, that's about true to color right there. That top part with the light on it. So I got a bunch of these. I think I'm ready for this sweater. So I'm gonna keep working on that this morning before I wake my son up. And then the other thing I want to say is, yesterday on the Vlogtober episode, I said that on the Christy Glass Knits Tell Me About Your Rhinebeck Sweater video, I didn't see a lot of crochet. Well, I actually did watch that while it was live, so by the time I came in, she was already doing the video. I didn't see it from the beginning. So this morning I go back to watch it from the beginning, and wouldn't you know, the first probably 3 to 5, maybe even 6 people were crocheting. And that was awesome, to see all the beautiful crochet work that people are doing and going to Rhinebeck and showing off crochet. So yay, I don't need to storm the castle because people have already stormed it. But I'm still make my sweater. But it's interesting because with people, almost everybody that she talks to, they're using some kind of indie dyed yarn, and it was almost like people had to make an excuse if they use Knit Picks or Cascade or any kind of big box store. One lady was, a couple of different ladies had used acrylic. The sweaters looked gorgeous. One lady had used a yarn bee, and she was like, oh, it's nothing fancy. The sweater was beautiful. And I just feel like we don't have to, you know, we don't have to excuse the use of the types of yarns we use. We use what we use. I mean, there are people who are just simply allergic to wool and can't use wool. And then there's just people who can't buy a sweater's quantity of indie dyed yarn at $30 a skein if you are not a tiny little person. Anyway, yeah, so that was interesting to see. I've only watched, it's a 2-hour plus video, so I'm gonna have to watch it in pieces because it's totally worth it to see all the stuff that people wear. I love when she does video. I'll link it down below, just to see all the awesome work people are doing with their sweaters. And it's actually inspiring. When you see it, you kind of want to make a sweater, and then you come back down to reality. But at the very beginning of the video, you should watch it because she does a whole, the first part of it is like about 20 ladies who took up a challenge to steek their sweater. Now, I learned about steeking the first time, probably the first time I learned about any kind of the more modern knitting was when Vicki Howe had her show called Nitty Gritty, and I loved that show. It was, at that time, Nitty Gritty was on. There was a couple other crafty shows on TLC and the Discovery, and you know, all these channels that now have all kinds of them. TLC used to stand for, when it first came out, it was called the Learning Channel. That's what TLC stood for. So now I think they just go by TLC. But when it was the Learning Channel, there was literally a lot of learning going on that channel. So now they have a whole different I don't know, aesthetic or whatever they show. Their program plan is totally different now. So I mean, everybody, if you can barely find any kind of a knitting or quilting, that all used to be on the Learning Channel. There used to be a show that was just about the fiber arts, and so it could be embroidery, it could be knitting, it could be crochet. I learned a lot. Anyway, back to Vicki Howe. I remember, I think she made, or somebody made like a little sweater for a bear to demonstrate how to steek. And basically what you do is you make your sweater in the round, and if it's a very patterned, like a Fair Isle sweater where you do a lot of work around the yoke, you know, but you want it to be a cardigan. So you make it in the round, Then you do some sort of stitching over here. It looks a lot different actually from what I saw on Christy's video than when I first learned it. So you do like some kind of sewing stitch and a sewing stitch, and then basically you cut the sweater and up the middle and turn it into a cardigan. But from what I could see on the video, and you guys check it out, it looks like what they did was there are certain patterns they write in the extra stitches so you can just cut through those, but they also will then go and knit the button band on each side before they do the cutting. So by the time you do the cutting, your button's already on, your button band is already on, and you're all set. And why it's a cool thing for a yoked pattern sweater is to do that with two different pieces and try to match them up is rough. But if you do it all as one and then cut it, it's gonna automatically match. So anyway, it is really interesting, and also it's very interesting to see all the things that people are doing. So yeah, I just wanted to say that and correct myself. I want to let you guys know that we are totally safe here from the fires, although they are getting closer, and I don't think it'll get much closer than it is. But yeah, I think that's all I have for today. Anything else? Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. So I've been thinking about whether or not I'm going to do Vlogmas, and I don't think I'm going to do Vlogmas the way I did Vlogtober. My hope and because I have tried Vlogmas and failed so many times, and I think it's because it gets so busy in December. I'm going to be traveling this time, and plus I got projects going on. So we'll see. But if I do it, I will not be posting a daily video. If I do Vlogmas, I will take video every day and do a compilation once a week, and that's what you would see. You would just see the week, like a vloggy style week, which is going to be a challenge to keep that short, because I still don't want to have, you know, an hour video, because it's hard for me to sit and watch a video for a long time, unless I'm sewing and I just put somebody on and just listen while I'm sewing. But I like to try to keep these things as much as I can under 20 minutes. But for the month of November, I'm going back to weekly and posting progress on my projects and letting you guys know what's going on. Anyway, that's my thoughts for that, and I think that's going to be it. That's going to be all for this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Vlogtober Day 29. Peace. Okay, see? I just don't understand. Oh. You know what? I don't get this thing because look at that. It's like weird. Okay, I recommended this, and I'm hoping. I don't know. I don't know.